Young Jimmy Berger. Woo. As a freshman, I got to go back for Jimmy. A little bit, James. Jimmy has now grown into James in my eyes. So Jimmy's gone, and now we're looking at James right here. There's something of somewhat of a folklore around the coach's office. As a freshman, Camp Barlow the first year, we had this senior who we just knew was Haas, okay? And he was about 285 bananas worth of motor, and he's an all-state guy. Just a big kid, tough kid. He was missing a couple teeth. We loved him. And so one day we're sitting outside Camp Barlow, and all of a sudden Haas comes inside and he goes, "Coaches, you won't believe what just happened." "What?" "Jimmy Berger just threw a water bottle at me." "I'm going to kick his ass." I said, "Easy." He goes, "I don't want to. He's a nice kid, but..." "Well, were you saying?" "Yeah, we were picking on him because he's a freshman." And Jimmy wasn't going to take it, so he threw a water bottle at him. That's how we knew he was going to be a good defensive lineman. He wasn't afraid as a freshman. But we had to talk to him, so we put Coach Wright on duty as a freshman coach. Calls him into the office. We're all sitting there trying to decompress. It was a 90-degree day. And he says, "Listen, Jimmy, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a freshman. You don't throw things at Haas, okay? In fact, you don't throw things at seniors. You know what, Jimmy? I can't make it any clearer. You don't throw things at anybody." And in the only way Jim could say it, as enthusiastic as he could, as he sat there and he's trying to reprimand him, Jimmy turns and goes, "Unless you're a quarterback, right, Coach?" That was our first sighting of Jimmy Berger. And we still talk about it this day, one of the funniest lines. We couldn't even keep a straight face in the coach's office. You can throw things if you're the quarterback. He's come so incredibly far. I've said every year as he got up here that he's probably one of the hardest working kids that I've ever seen come through the program. And if everybody worked hard like James, then we would have a tremendous team. To show where he's grown maturity-wise, though, had a lot going on his plate, was really trying to focus in on school. Called Coach Tyne and myself in right in the off-season and sat us down, asked for a meeting, and kind of had a heart-to-heart, said he wasn't sure if he'd be able to come out and play football his senior year. We both said to him, "James, I'll hear you now, but we're not taking that as a final answer." So he took some time off, and sure enough, as the leaves started to change in the fall, he started to get that jonesing for the game again, like everybody here does. And he came to us. He goes, "You know what? I think I'm ready to come back now." If you would ask me his freshman year that he would have been such a key piece to this team, I would have said no way. But it just shows how hard he's worked, how much he's grown, and really the driving force behind him was how much Joe Barlow football and the game of football meant to him. He started many games for us, most of the games for us this year, and played in all of them. He was just a motor. You can see a lot of times on film him just driving straight, bull rushing someone back, always asking how he can get better, always asking how he can increase his technique. We're going to miss him tremendously. James Berger. When I say that we need to fix the fields, I don't know if I mentioned that yet, but we do need to fix the fields. It's because a lot of this beef is constantly tearing up that field every step they take. And that's a good thing for us. That's a good problem. That's a good problem. But we definitely need to get bigger, obviously, on the defensive line coming up. Swine was a key offensive lineman for us over the last few years. Obviously, his size and his strength and his smarts. For once, I had a smart defensive lineman. Made him a great offensive lineman. He always did the drills on defensive line, and we always tried. He was a package guy, would be in there on the goal line. But it wasn't until this year when he really started to get his stamina up and worked incredibly hard in the offseason to keep his lungs with him and was able to go both ways. And for a big guy like Swine to be able to go both ways is a tremendous asset to how hard he worked in the offseason and his dedication to the team. He's, again, was one of our captains, thankfully. Organizes one hell of a shed. We have about 35 square feet of equipment and a 25 square foot shed, and somehow Swine fits it all in every time. That's why he's going to be an engineer. All right, he's going to be building beautiful things in the future. But a true leader, a true asset to the team, a phenomenal player, Corey Swine Sterling. Also, he's got so much stuff, we get so much hardware up here. And it's sad to say goodbye. He's one of our 2 all-conference players this year, all SWC members. Corey Sterling. Coach Tynan has already been off meeting with some of the coaches in the SWC and the league and talking about scheduling and things that they want to do with the league in the future. And anytime we go, we're talking already, we're going to go up and we go to these coaches' clinics, and when we sit down with these other coaches and we're friendly for a couple of hours, not all of them, not all of them, but some of the coaches we can sit down with, the first thing that pops up when they talk about our season is Jackson Sennett. And we know that. Obviously, we saw his ability, which is why he was such a key member of our team here. But other coaches see that too. The greatest thing I think about Jackson is, and I said to this maybe prematurely, but it held true. Early in the season, I knew that Jackson was going to be one of the best defensive ends that ever came through the school. I've been here 9 years. He's certainly the best defensive end that's come through in my time. And talking to Coach Tynan, who's going on his 20th year now, certainly one of the best defensive ends that's come in his 20 years. One of the best all-around players. And even in being one of the best players, the thing that makes him the best and the thing that other people can get from is the fact that even though he's the best player for Barlow, he wanted to be the best player in the league. Okay, so he was not satisfied being just the best, maybe the best lineman at Barlow. He wanted to be better than everyone on the team, and he wanted to be better than everyone in the league. So even though he's been practicing with the varsity team for 4 years, every time he does a drill, he never took a drill off. He never took a drill off, and I've never seen him do it in 4 years. Every single time he tried to get better. If he could get out of his stance that quick one time, the next time he tried to get out a millisecond faster. And that's one thing that I wish everybody could take from, if you sat here and had an opportunity to play with all of these guys, and especially Jackson, is the fact that every single play, and he's a first-team all-conference kid, and he's one of the best players we've seen come through this school in a while, and one of the reasons was his incredible work ethic and his desire to be the best and to get better every single rep of every single practice. I could stand up here and talk about him for hours. He's a tremendous leader. He leads by fear, I think, and that's his best way of leading, and sometimes you need that, and to scare you into doing the right thing. But I think he does it because he knows how much, one of the things that we have in common, and I'm not going to say that about too many things, but he said something that really, and I hope you don't mind, a lot of things that stay with the D-line stay down there. It's like Vegas. But one of the things he said that we have in common is that football is really one of the only times that he can really show his true emotion. And come here, Jackson. And the one thing, I don't get too emotional sometimes, but we share that. That's the one thing we have in common. My girlfriend tells me all the time that that's what we have in common. So football brings out emotions that he doesn't feel anywhere else, and he's played with those emotions, and that's why he's one of the best that's ever come through here. We're going to miss him tremendously. He's got a brilliant mind, so I'm glad we have those real nice helmets, because he's going to have to take care of me in the future sometime. Jackson.